All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's BU Professional Development webinar, Winning with Video in Your Marketing Strategies. My name is Jeff Murphy. I'm a member of the Career Programs team here in the Office of Alumni Relations. Today's webinar is sponsored by BU Alumni Relations and is offered to our 326,000 alumni around the globe. We aim to do this by providing throughout your career, BU is committed to helping you define and achieve your professional goals. We aim to do this by providing alumni with access to a series of valuable online tools and social media communities. I know that we have alumni joining us from faraway places like Buenos Aires, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Brecksville, Ohio, Oviedo, Florida, Chicago, Piedmont, California, and as always, dozens of Massachusetts alumni from towns like Southeaston, Holliston, Brimfield, Swampscott, Saugus, and more. For each and every one of you out there, please know that we really do value your opinion on this and every program that we offer. Before I introduce today's speaker, some brief housekeeping notes. As you know by now, this webinar is being hosted on our new Zoom online meeting platform. If you experience any trouble with the audio or visual portions of today's presentation, I'll ask that you please contact Zoom support directly. If you want to grab a writing implement, I'll give you a phone number to call for Zoom support. That's 1-888-799-9666. Today's presentation is being recorded and will soon be made available for on-demand viewing on the Alumni Association website found at www.bu.edu/alumni. Our speaker today is very eager to answer any questions that you may have, and you are welcome to submit them throughout the presentation using the Q&A function. You'll find that by accessing the Zoom menu by hovering over either the top or the bottom of your screen and clicking on Q&A. We hope to get to as many questions as we can, so feel free to submit them as our speaker is doing her presentation. It's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker for the day, two-time Terrier alumna Angela Pitter. Angela is founder and CEO of LiveWire Collaborative, a digital marketing consultancy partnering with businesses to transform their passions into profits one fan at a time. LiveWire Collaborative services include online strategy development and implementation for mid-sized businesses, social media training for corporations and organizations, one-on-one executive coaching, online and social media analysis, as well as Facebook ads and email marketing strategies. Additionally, Angela has trained several hundred professionals on hot topics such as how-to for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and there's an app for that. Prior to LiveWire Collaborative, Angela spent over 20 years in high tech and brings extensive experience leading global teams and products to the market. She's a certified project management professional and holds both of her degrees, her Master in Science and Administration and a Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering from Boston University. Angela currently also serves on the board of directors for the Newton Needham Regional Chamber of Commerce. You can follow Angela on Twitter at Angela Pitter. And Angela, thanks so much for being here. This is the second webinar that you've offered us. We're thrilled with your first one, so we invited you back for more. Thank you for doing this. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. So if you want to go ahead and share your slide deck, we can be off and running.
Okay, I'm going to do that. All right, here we go.
Perfect. Looks good.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And it depends on where you are, right? It could be afternoon, it could be morning, it could be evening. Special thank you to the Boston University Alumni Association and especially Jeff for inviting me back here today. Thank you, all of you. You could have been doing anything else today. I'm glad you decided to sit out for an hour with me. So let's get started. I want to talk to you about winning with video in your marketing strategies. And as Jeff mentioned, I am on Twitter. And if you're a Twitter head like I am, follow me and definitely check out all of the great resources that I'm sharing you today on how you can use video and win. So let's talk about who's in the audience today. So Jeff, you want to throw that poll up? I want to hear from you if you're a C-suite, anything CEO, COO, CFO in your title, if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, if you're working at a startup, founded a startup, you're a consultant, a marketing person, sales, video is your thing, you're a videographer, if you're a nonprofit or anything else.
And Angela, we do have some answers coming in, but I don't think that you'll see those until I publish the results. So that'll just
Okay.
give us another second here. And folks, go ahead and just click on whatever title or segment represents you best. And if we've failed to capture you, just click other at the bottom. And in the sake of moving, we've got mostly everybody who's weighed in. So I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. Yeah. And then Angela, can you see the results in front of you?
No, I cannot. Do I need to stop share?
Oh, share results. Here we go, Joe.
Okay, here we go. Share results. All right. So we got quite a few nonprofits on here, some entrepreneurs, founders, consultants, marketing, quite a few marketing people here. Okay, good. Good to see. All right. So here's the next question for you. Like, what are you interested in learning today? Let's throw up that next one. You know, you're interested in the trends, you're trying to find out how to promote your business, how to use video to drive thought leadership, want to know more about live streaming, want to know about the equipment, the tools, all those reasons why you don't use video, right? It's like, oh, I don't know the tools, I don't know about the equipment. Let me hear from you today. What are you interested in learning about?
Got about half the people who've weighed in so far, but they keep coming in, so we'll just buy us a few more seconds here. Thank you all for weighing in with your answers. And I'm going to go ahead and we will take a look.
All right. So how to promote. Okay. I'm going to spend quite a bit of time with that. Some of the trends, I'm going to talk about that. How to use it to drive leadership. Nobody wants to talk about live streaming. Well, I'm going to talk about that anyway. As an important component, I want to make sure you kind of understand how to use live versus everything else. Okay.
Great.
All right. So as I mentioned, today's gender, I am going to talk about the video trends, the video on different platforms, because there's many social sites out there. YouTube, of course, your website, but really on the different social sites, I'm going to talk about how to use it on live, and definitely what are those tools that's going to help you get you up and going. And after you put all that great work in creating those videos, we'll also talk about how you can now cross promote across the various platforms that you own. Okay, and then we'll save the question and answers for the end, but definitely go ahead and use the chat box to throw your questions as we go. Okay, so why should you care about video? So here's some of the key reasons that I think are very important. Number one, Google, right? All about getting found. You want to promote your brand, they have to know about your brand, right? By using video, you are 53 times more likely to show up on Google, right? What else? Engagement. People engage with video way more than they engage with a blog post, for example. They'll share it 10 times more, engage with it, comment on it 10 times more. And those comments are very important because they can guide you to whatever that next piece of content is that you want to create. Because if they're asking questions, you can say, oh, people want to know about this. So you take those comments to develop and lead you and guide you to that next piece of content. Trust. In your funnel, you're always trying to pull your audience through the funnel, right? The funnel is like, they get to know you, and then they'll trust you. And 50% of consumers say that they are building more confidence through a video. And because that's the engagement piece. If the video is engagement, you're building trust with your audience. And then no, folks, email is not dead. It is quite alive. And in fact, email campaigns that include video will have a higher click-through rate, 96%. So it is significant impact on email. And then finally, conversion. After all, why are we creating these videos? It's not just because we have nothing better to do. They do take time. So we want to make sure that we're using them so that we can help convert our audience to actually purchase a product or a service from us, right? And those landing pages can increase conversions by 80%. So the numbers and the facts are there, but at the end of the day, the real conversion for you is, again, the purchase. So this is a great, some research that was done that shows 44%, the green bar at the top, viewed an online video prior to purchase. And you think about it, every time you make a purchase, if you want to buy a car, anything you're trying to do, you are going online, you're going to Google it. If you see a video, you're going to interact with the video. But after you did all of that, eventually you will make a purchase. There's going to be something there that's going to drive you from A to B. 71% made a purchase after viewing the video online. So this is why it's key to have video in the centerpiece of your marketing strategy. Of course, YouTube here is at the top of the list when we think about consumption and where people are consuming videos. YouTube is the oldest video platform. I'm sure everybody has at some time or another consumed a video on YouTube. However, what you don't see here is Instagram. And Instagram is coming up fast and furious. And that is a platform I'm going to want you to, I'm going to talk about a little bit later. I'm going to want you to think about, because it is definitely going to surpass Facebook in short order. So what I want to hear from you, and this is going to be our final poll, is I want to find out a little bit more about your experience with video. Are you a creator? Have you created on any of the on any of the platforms? Are you a consumer? And where are you consuming your videos? Right, here you go.
So for folks, for this one, as Angela said, feel free to click as many as apply to you. And we'll allow a few more seconds here for the answers to roll in. And Angela, you can take a much needed water break. Got about just over half of you have weighed in. They keep rolling in.
Give it another second.
So Angela, any predictions before I publish these results? Where do you think?
Well, I'm going to predict that at least everybody has watched one YouTube video or another.
As a consumer.
Yep, as a consumer, and probably, because this is a webinar, participated on a webinar.
It should be 100%.
That should be 100%.
That was almost a trick question, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I want to see how we have some creators out there as well.
Yeah, we do. Why don't we go ahead and take a look? I'm going to end the poll, and I'll share the results.
All right, so quite a few of you have created YouTube videos, good, and definitely consumed them. Webinars, I thought that webinar thing would be 100%, but you know, it's kind of even Steven across the platform, so which is good. So we're going to talk about all of these.
Awesome.
So we're going to kick off with YouTube, of course, right? YouTube is most popular. YouTube is all about the how-to, all of the explainer videos, how to solve a problem. So what we're going to do, of course, this is winning with videos. So we're going to look at some videos, starting with this one from the Dollar Shave Club. So I want to hear from you. Use the chat box, please. Sort of your first impressions of this video. Do I need to stop share to get back to the chat box?
Possibly.
Okay.
That just disappeared for me as well.
Okay.
Stop it back up.
Yep, I got it.
Folks, if you go to the menu, you can use the chat box to weigh in here. Are you able to see those, Angela?
Yep, I'm seeing them now. So catchy, memorable, some awful. Makes you want to join the club, be their fans, made me laugh. Some people said not catchy, slickly produced. Okay, so clever, well-written, few resources, made me laugh. Okay, so let's get back to the presentation here. Right. So the thing is, you have to kind of go in with a strategy, right? What is the strategy? Is it to educate? Is it to inspire? Is it to entertain? Right? You got to really first lead with the strategy. But then after that, you need to think about, okay, you know, somebody said it wasn't catchy, right? Well, you got about 10 seconds to capture everybody's attention, right? This video actually wasn't captioned, and really what you want to do is make sure it's also captioned, because a lot of people listen to the videos with the sound off, so they're really not really listening. So you want to have that caption, because they're probably doing something else, they're on their phone, they're texting. You know, we're all at least have two screens going at once. I'm sure everybody's watching this maybe on their laptop, but they have their iPhones or whatever their phone is sitting right next to it as well, right? And humanize, right? Is it engaging? Does it have some humor? So even though the strategy might be educational, you still want to have it have a little bit of humor as well, typically, because that'll help drive your engagement. And definitely the visual is really important. After all, it's a video. When I get to live, that's going to change a little bit. The audio is really going to be important when you're going live, but the video for this type of promotional video is definitely has to be at the top of your game. So let's talk about video. Let's switch over from YouTube to Twitter. So one thing that Twitter has said is that, you know, it's the best discoverable tool. 5 times you're going to discover videos more on video content on Twitter more than anything else. Also, there's 6 times, and you know that people don't often retweet, but that's a form of engagement. And there's 6 times more likely to be retweeted, 3 times if it's a GIF. So we definitely want to make sure that we're also using video on all of our platforms, right? Of course, since it's Twitter, which is typically shorter, you want to think about more shorter content. But the same way you can use this shorter content to drive your customers through your funnel. So what are you trying to do? What's your goal? What's your play? Is it you're trying to generate awareness? Are you trying to drive consideration? Are you trying to do purchasing? Loyalty? Are you trying to build your tribe on Twitter? It can even happen. So here's an example from Reebok, who's actually doing a brand refresh. So we're going to take a look at this one. So again, I want your feedback on this. Again, this is a video that Reebok generated. It's definitely a promotional video. They wanted to celebrate ordinary people. The objective was to refresh their brand. Tactically, it was a cross-platform video, so they promoted it and ran it on TV, digital, social. They've reported back that they had 21% lift in recall, and that basically means 21% of people were able to actually recall this video. So go ahead and let me get your feedback on this one as well. All right, Reebok is finally doing what Nike did years ago. Lots of emotional content, and that's exactly it. You want that emotion, because that's how you make the connection and drive that engagement. Inspiring. Yeah, and I think that's exactly what they were trying to do. So this is one that you think about is a brand refresh. So they wanted to sort of, again, bring that awareness and have the inspiration together. So if you can get a couple of things combined in one video, you'll be on your way. Let's go back. Yeah. Right. So that video was less than a minute. And I'm going to show you two other kind of videos on that were also on Twitter that are, one is very short, literally a 3-second video. And this is a product video because a lot of times we're always looking at different type of products. So literally this is just showing you know, sort of the strength of the eyewear. And it just goes, this is 3 seconds. That's all there's to it. Versus this other one, let me get rid of that, which is, again, more of a, oops, sorry.
If you're trying to show the eyewear one, we haven't seen that yet. Are you still trying to get it up?
It didn't, oh, the eyewear one didn't show?
Yeah, it seems like you're not sharing your screen right now.
Oh, okay. You know what? Let me, all right. Are you seeing my screen now?
I am not.
All right. You know what? Let me stop share.
I think maybe because the chat box is
Oh, okay. Wait. Okay. All right. Back
there we go.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right. So we will back up. Let me see if I can quickly get back to the eyewear.
For folks that are on the other end of the webinar, using this with multiple different windows can be sometimes challenging. So that's why the delay here.
All right, here we go. So as you see, there's so many different things you can do with these videos. I mean, that Drybar one literally showed you all ages, all races. I mean, if you think about the emotional piece of it, you know, look and feel, very important. You know, just time alone. It's like not even necessarily about getting my hair done. So they kind of show you what's all of the different reasons why you want to come on over to Drybar. So now I'm going to change gear and talk about video on LinkedIn. LinkedIn actually was late to the party. Everybody had some form of video. You could always link to video on LinkedIn. So if you had a video on YouTube, you can always, you know, post that link in your post on LinkedIn and that would be fine. Now they have introduced within the last year native video, which means you can literally upload the raw video to LinkedIn in your post, and you want to do that. You want to stop the linking because LinkedIn is actually giving more organic reach to native video than ever before, than any other social site actually at this time right now. So if you're not using LinkedIn as a platform to share your videos, it's time to start thinking about that and perhaps switch gears. It's a little bit different in that it's only horizontal. So if you think about Instagram and, you know, even Twitter is typically a vertical video or a square video, it is only horizontal on LinkedIn. They do give you some pretty good analytics though, which is one of the reasons I also like to, one of the benefits, I should say, of sharing your video on multiple sites. Facebook gives you one set of analytics, but LinkedIn will tell you the titles of the people that viewed it. It'll tell you their location. It'll tell you what companies that they work at. It won't tell you the names of the actual people that viewed it. If they liked the video, you can still see who liked your video. But in terms of the view data, you don't see the actual names, but you do get a lot of other information that you don't get on other sites. And you got 10 minutes. I mean, like, you don't ever need 10 minutes, but you can do, if you're doing an interview, you could definitely probably use a good 5 minutes to do that and show an interview snapshot behind the scenes as well. Anything on LinkedIn. And of course, you could tag people. They brought back hashtags. If you're not using hashtags on LinkedIn, or if you stop using them because they weren't working, they now do work. It is searchable, so definitely make sure you're tagging people, tagging your interviews, tagging everything all along. This is an example here of how two completely different people have used LinkedIn for their videos. One is the Prime Minister of Canada. Of course, he was campaigning like all politicians, promised a whole lot. So now he's going back out to his community and showing where he has actually kept his promises, and he's using the hashtag promise kept. I'm not going to show you that video, but I am going to show you the other one. Susie B. Zimmerman, who's actually a local person here in Boston. She's all things Instagram, everything how to Instagram, and all over Instagram like you wouldn't believe. If you're an Instagrammer, definitely follow her. But she actually talked to one of her buzz, Vivica Van Rosen, who's also the opposite. She's all over LinkedIn. She's everything LinkedIn's, all things LinkedIn is all the only thing that Vivica ever talks about. So Vivica told Susie, you know what, you may want to try out LinkedIn. I know you love Instagram, but you may want to try out LinkedIn. So sure enough, she started putting some of the same videos, didn't change anything from that she used on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and she is getting so many viewers of her audience on LinkedIn that she never thought about, and getting them over. So it's another way you can cross promote and getting them to now come to see her, visit her on Instagram, where they weren't doing that before. But this one is interesting because she's just simply ranting. And as you can see here from the outfit, it looks like she just left the gym and loaded up her camera and decided to give you a few tips on how to interact with her on LinkedIn.
That would be me. I usually hang out on Instagram, but I've been hanging out on LinkedIn ever since we could do video. And ever since Vivica Van Rosen, the LinkedIn expert, has had an influence on me. And I want to tell you a few things that I've noticed that are just not cool. So connecting with someone on LinkedIn doesn't mean that you immediately inundate them with a message saying, it looks like we have some common connections. How about we grab coffee, or I show you this, or you look at that, or like, how about hello, how are you? Or this is a good one. Or I see we have a lot of common connections. I'd love to know what you do. Hello, check out my website. Everything is there. I just spent a shit ton of time upgrading it, redoing it, and making it really clear. So take the time to go look at my website and then come back and say, I noticed that you teach Instagram marketing, and I've had some questions around geotags and hashtags and how to get more visibility. The BS that I'm getting in my inbox is...
So that was just 1 minute, and as you can see, this thing actually goes about 7 minutes long. We don't need to listen to Susie rant for that minute. Actually, sorry, not 7 minutes. This is 2 minutes. The other one, I think the prime miniature one was, but anyway, anything more than 30 seconds of this is too much. So that's kind of the point here. So it's good to, you know, give your audiences tips, keep them short and keep them sweet. I mentioned this already, that some of the type of data that you'll get on your video. So here's an example where I had a client who's launching a new book, and she launched a video, you know, again, as an author. So she has a Facebook page. She has almost 2,000 fans on her Facebook page. And it didn't get that many views. Again, maybe got 800 views on her Facebook page. And I said, you know what, we would put this on your LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, she actually only has like 800 connections. This is her personal page. And guess what? It got over 2,000 views. And one thing I should mention on LinkedIn, you could actually both post videos on your personal page as well as your company page. But you get all this great data, who's the kind of clients you're trying to attract. You can see the titles, you can see where they're coming from. On Facebook, you get a little bit of different type of data. You do see more like average watch time. You don't get that information on LinkedIn, which is actually another good reason to post your videos in multiple locations. And that looks like we got some new comments in the chat box here. Let me see if I can get back in there. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, the recording will be available, right?
Yeah, so I had replied, some folks had asked about the recording. As I said at the beginning, eventually this will be put on our website. Usually takes us 3 or 4 business days to turn that around. So I would encourage people to visit our website for the recording of this webinar.
Okay, right. And you know, if you're interested in the slides, definitely connect with me on LinkedIn and I'll be happy to share them. Okay. Let's see if we can get this thing moving. Okay, so that's a little bit about LinkedIn. Let's talk about Instagram. And so much has happened on Instagram in the last 6 months. But one of the big things is it's now like surpassed almost everybody with 1 billion active viewers. So if your demographic is on Instagram, I would definitely encourage you to get on it because, you know, just like Twitter, you know, Instagram videos are short. You're looking for like a max of 60 seconds if it's in the feed. If you're doing stories, you're only 15 seconds. You can go live. You can go live for an hour. You can go live with a friend. So if you are doing an interview, it's a great platform. You don't need any extra software. If you're doing this on Facebook, you actually would have to use like a third-party tool to do this. Whereas in Instagram, at least with 2 people, you can easily go live and have an interview without any additional tools. You can now also do video chat, you know, and if you think about like, well, how would I use video chat with, you know, a client? I mean, you may want to just do, you know, if you need to do a quick demo or if you need to do a consultation or hold a team meeting, you can do up to 4 people. So, you know, on the video chat. And again, if your people are there, that might be a good platform to you. And then now they have IGTV also. I'm not going to talk about that. Just Google it. But think Netflix and that's IGTV. But here's the things, my friend. Videos need to be short. In the end of the day, yes, you can go an hour live on Instagram. You could actually go 4 hours live on Facebook. God knows why you would want to do that, but you can do it. They've done some research and they've determined that a goldfish only has the attention span of 9 seconds. Humans lose concentration after 8 seconds. And then remember that I said we're a multiple device. So we're also flexing between at least 3 devices a day. So not only do your videos need to be short, you need to have them on different platforms. And here's some even additional information that kind of shows and demonstrates some research where viewers typically fall off. So I said that earlier, that first 10 seconds is very important. That's where you're going to grab them. That's where the engagement happens. Here's a sort of a collection of ideal times. And I would say, again, if you're just doing a standard, more promotional video, you know, Instagram, 30 seconds, Twitter, 45, Facebook, a minute, YouTube, again, it's more of a how-to platform. So you could spend some more time. Obviously, if it's live, it's going to be longer. You know, nobody's going to do a 2-minute live video. It's going to be typically less longer. But the thing about live is live, right? So anything happens. If you decide you want to go live in the park and somebody's dog runs by you and is barking, it is what it is. And I think that's actually why people like live videos, because they're more authentic. They're in the moment. People really like that. But again, there could also be some legal issues, because maybe, that person who's walking the dog in the park doesn't want to be in your video. So you just got to think about those kind of things. You got to strategize a little bit. But I personally do actually like live a lot better. And in fact, for Facebook, here's some additional data points. Live videos get more interaction, 6 times more interaction. They spend more time watching live. And so here's the thing, it's like almost a chicken and egg. So what Facebook is doing, so Facebook, early on, when they first introduced video, like LinkedIn is doing now. So LinkedIn, they're driving that organic reach like nobody's business. But on Facebook, they're now driving that reach for Facebook Live. And so why organic reach in general is down on Facebook, if you're going live, you will actually get more reach, because Facebook is actively going out there and telling people they think will be interested in your content that you're alive. And so the longer you're on, the longer they're out there and searching. And the more they're engaging, so they tend to comment more. So you have to actually have a little bit of strategy too. So because you're going to be running longer, people may not actually join you right when you start talking, right? So at the beginning, you typically introduce your agenda. So you kind of take your time. You want to reach out to the audience. You want to say, hey, who's out there? Who do we have? Where are you located? Write it in the comments, right? You want to get them to interact with you by writing it in the comments, right? So here's today's agenda. Do you have any additional questions? Write them in the comments, right? Because the more that they're engaging and writing and actively engaging with you via the comment box, that also triggers Facebook. Oh, they're interacting. So let's try even more people to come see your video, right? So you can go live. I mean, I would say good amount of time, like 20, 30 minutes is good for a live, especially like if you're doing an interview. Because interviews, people are definitely more interested because you have more points of, more opinions. So definitely think about using live either on Facebook or in Instagram. There's many things you can talk about, your personal stories, behind the scenes, interviews, ask me anything, right? So you can, again, think about your multiple platforms. You send out an email. I'm going to go live on Thursday, 8 o'clock. Send me your questions that you want me to answer. And, when you join me, if you think of something else, just add it in. We can talk about it, answer your questions, AMAs, ask me anything. Hot topics, breaking news. Of course, when the whole thing with the Facebook with Cambridge Analytica, oh my God, people are going live about that all day long. If they have giveaways, announcements, sneak peeks, and this is a great article. If you get the slides, click on that link, how brands are effectively using live. Did the question come in through the chat box?
No new questions yet, but that's we have one question that maybe we should save for the end, Angela, if you want to sort of cover things. But again, a reminder for everybody, for questions for Angela, please use the Q&A box and go ahead and type those in.
Okay. All right. So on Facebook, what the other thing I like about Facebook, you can kind of go live from any part of Facebook. So your personal profile, you can go from your pages, your groups. You could actually, which I didn't even mention here, you can go live from your events. An event page is another opportunity for you to actually engage with your audience, because events is another part of Facebook where they're giving more organic reach than your normal page. So if you post on your page, hey, I have an event coming up on such and such a place, whether it's a live event or it's a conference that you're going to be at, but you actually set up an event and post in the event page, you're actually going to get a lot more interaction on your event page than you are in your regular page. You can set up polls and do all of that kind of stuff as well on the event page. So take advantage of all the features. They're always changing. I mean, that's, good old Facebook. All these platforms are the same. They're always changing. So always go back. Don't assume that, it is what it was before, and they can have something new that's going to work with you really well. Here's 2 examples. I'm going to just do real quick. Starbucks, because this is more sort of the humanity. They're doing a voter registration in Jamaica, Queens, New York. And I'm just going to just show you like a minute or 2 of this. Yeah, so this is a few minutes of a 25-minute live, and you can see, you know, there's like, again, the thing with live is the clarity of the video may or may not be there, but the main thing is that volume. So it would have probably been good if they had better mics. And the other thing too is what's nice too about Facebook is it lives on forever, and you could actually, with all of these videos, almost all of these sites actually let you do this, is that you can grab the embed code. So once you have a video that's live, and if it's really good time, you can grab that embed code. And if you're now going to send out an email, put the embed code, embed the video in your email. I already told you that, you know, open rates with emails and videos work really good. But the other thing is when you embed that video, people can interact and comment on the video through the email. So that's also, in terms of your overall engagement, is growing your engagement. So Facebook is counting, even though the video is being viewed in your email, Facebook is still counting the shares, the likes, the comments. You can see this one is viewed 170,000 times, 259 shares, 3,500 comments. I mean, yeah, likes, you know, the comments, 429 comments. So it's definitely gotten quite a bit of interaction as a live event. And then there's one last one here I'm going to show you, another way to use live, and this was a pop-up announcement. Right. So, I mean, this is a shorter one, 14 minutes, but again, it still got 100 shares, 83,000 views, 2,500, you know, interactions, 379 comments. You know, it's a pop-up. And so again, in terms of you have a new brand, you have a new product, a new service, it's all the same idea. You can go live and talk about it and share it with your audience. Okay, so here's a quick checklist. You know, I just want to kind of recap a little bit, right? Your ideal length, if you're especially for a promo video, you're looking at 15 seconds, but you really want to make sure you're capturing your audience in that first 10 seconds. And one of the reasons why you want it to be short is because then it's easily shared. It's that snackable content. You can redistribute it on other platforms. So, you know, 15 seconds, if you think about Instagram stories, that's 15 seconds, you know, so then if it's that short, then it could be a story. It could still go in your regular feed. It can be on Facebook. It can be on Twitter, anywhere. Subtitles. Notice all of the videos that I showed you actually were not captioned. You really want to have it captioned as much as possible because one, again, most people are watching videos with the sound off. And two, if you have an international audience, so English may not be their first language, it'll be easier for them to kind of follow along if it's captioned. So you really want to think about the story, right? What are those three things? What is that strategy? Are you educating them? Are you inspiring them? Is this about entertainment? Think about the format. Mostly the videos that are vertical, square videos in particular, receive the most engagement. But again, if it's LinkedIn, that's a horizontal format. So if you create it for LinkedIn, you can recreate it in a vertical or square format. You just kind of think about your positioning so that you can then later repurpose that video. Equipment. So this is sometimes where the whole thing falls apart because, you know, everybody, you know, you saw the ModCloth one. It was our iPhone. So if you think about what do you need three things. You do need a phone. if you're just gonna, especially if you're just going live from anywhere, you need a tripod. If you're in your office, you probably want like a mini tripod like this Manfrotto. If you're standing outside, you probably want a floor length floor stand tripod. But this mini one, you know, with with this stand, with the holder, the actual phone holder piece is $29. The tripod itself without the holder, if you already have one, is $20. And you need lighting. These clip-on light, they're great LEDs. They're really cheap, $12, this particular brand. And you need a mic. So you could either have, like right now I'm using a cordless mic, and those are more expensive. I think it's like $59. This one, you can get one like this that you plug in. If you're using the newer iPhones, the iPhone 10 or even the 8, they don't have, I think even the 7, they don't have this end here, so that you have to get an adapter. So it might be a couple pieces, but basically you could get started for $50, right? And if you want to get more fancy, you could have, you know, the bigger, the floor stand tripods, and actually Amazon sells you can get 2. They have a double set for $30, I think it is, which is good because you have one for your phone and you have one for, you know, a bigger light. And those bigger lights are maybe like run from $20 to $50. And then you're going to need some software. You may need a webcam if you're doing something from your desk. The built-in camera in your laptop is not necessarily always that good. I mean, they're typically they've gotten really good. But if you really want to go even, you know, clearer, crisper, get one of those HD Pro webcams, and those run like $80 as well. And you know, if you don't want to even, you know, iOgraph, I put that there. I mean, you can just order a kit from them that has all the components that you need: the light, the mic, everything, the stand in one set. In terms of tools, here's some of my go-to tools. I like Google Photos. I keep Google Photos on my phone because it's one of those things that if you talk about, you know, less headache, Google Photos, when I'm at an event, I'll easily take 100 photos. And what Google Photos will do is I get back home, it syncs up everything, and I'll log in, and guess what? It'll automatically create a video, adds music to it. It may generate some GIFs. It might have a bunch of those photos. It may make a stylized photos. It does all this creative stuff automatically while you sleep. Now, you may not use it, or the video may not include the photos you want. So then it's just a matter of now going in and edit it, which is the easy thing to do. And you're off and running. Again, if you're at a conference, another way to stay top of mind is, hey, Mr. Speaker, Miss Speaker, I took some videos, I took some photos, you may be interested. You know, it's so easy to share the link. It's so easy to organize and, you know, create collections. Find, you know, when you're doing, you know, like me, 100 photos a day, I mean, Google search is like bar none. So inside Google Photos, it's so easy to find them. The thing that is one of the cons, though, is that if you want to automatically share it right to Twitter or whatever, the sharing is not so hot. So you end up downloading it and then uploading it and sharing it. But other than that, it's a great tool. If you are doing a lot of Facebook, if that's your go-to platform, you probably want to invest with something like BeLive, because you do have to pay for that. But it's not that expensive. I think it's last time I checked, it was like $15 a month. But one thing it does let you do is, again, if you have other people that you're going to interview, and no matter where they are in the world, you could bring them in on the video. So you could have up to 10 people. And if you're like me, I'm always using slides, so you can share your desktop. And finally, you know, head over to Facebook Mobile Studio. Just Google, it'll come up. There's a great site that Facebook has put together that has all these mobile resources, you know, third-party apps. They have a page there, top 10 apps. So good, you know, there's good stuff out there that you can use to, you know, again, take the headache away from creating these videos. And there's also 2 other tools I can't, that I might go to too. So if you are not a video person, but you're a blog person, then you want to check out Lumen 5. And what Lumen 5 does is literally will create a video from your blog. So you can literally just point and click the URL of your blog post, highlight a couple of key words, phrases, sentences. It'll automatically AI generate the slide behind the words. You can swap it out. So you can do a keyword search to find other slides that you like better. You can change and add in the music, and boom, 5 minutes. Your blog is now a video, and you can download it and use it any place. You can share it. The Lumen 5 share works really well. You can share it right to any of your social sites. It's a wonderful tool. The freemium platform, of course, you know, they have to get paid. So at the end of the freemium, the last slide will say it was created by Lumen 5. But hey, if you're doing this all the time, it's worth the $50 a month. And then the other one, Vidyard Go Video, it literally is a Chrome extension. So if you want to do something like, you know, create a explainer video, you know, you can just go for it. You can't download it afterwards. You just have to share, you know, like, so if you, say, for example, you're doing a demo for a customer, you have to send them the link, but it's there forever, and it works real quick and easy tool. So we're coming to the end. You spent all this time, you created these great videos, they're engaging, they're short, they're perfect. Now what do you do? So one of the things, if it's a longer video, make it a shorter video, right? Create quotable moments, turn them into little tweets, you know? So if you have a video that has 3 tips, break it out into 3 videos, right? You can, you know, make it a GIF as well. Turn the audio. So there's a site called rev.com. You can scrape out the audio. If you're a podcaster, use the audio and make it a podcast. You know, send them through your landing pages. You could do the reverse. So you can take a longer video, make it shorter. You could take shorter videos and make them longer, or make a video course. Make it an ebook, make it an audio book. You know, remarketing is a big thing. So especially like on Facebook, so you can trigger on how many people viewed at 3 seconds, how many people viewed at 10 seconds. If they watched the whole video through, so you can remarket to those folks depending on how long they watch your video. So my closing thoughts, think about your strategy. Are you trying to educate? Are you trying to entertain? Are you want to inspire? You know, what's your audience? Make sure you tailor and customize to your audience, and know your distribution. There's many channels out there, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. You can put them all on all of them. If you have audiences on all of them, try them all out. And even if you don't think you have an audience, I mean, look at the example from Susie Zimmerman. She's like lives 100% on Instagram, and she tried LinkedIn and found, wow, I have an audience here, and was able to convert them and bring them to Instagram. So it's not always necessarily important to bring them to your website. You know, if you can interact and get them to convert on Twitter, on LinkedIn, whatever, you know, wherever the conversion happens, that's the end game, is to convert. So here we are at the very end. And so what do we got for questions?
We do have a couple. Actually, do you want to put your slide back up there so people can see how to follow up with you?
Yep, let me do that.
We had a couple questions that came in throughout in the chat box.
Okay.
At one point, we were watching one of the videos, and you mentioned that it had a 21% recall.
Mm-hmm.
And Alana is wondering, is 21% high or low compared to the average?
It's high. That's a higher recall, because, you know, again, if you think about the attention span and we're always doing multiple things and going multiple places, 21% is a good number. Yeah.
And then Stooch had asked, when we were watching the Starbucks video,
Mm-hmm.
and you pointed out that it was 24 minutes, his or her comment was, do people actually watch the whole thing? And it occurs to me, that's entirely not the point, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So there's a couple of things. Yeah, sometimes people do watch the whole thing. And I think here's the thing with especially a live video, and especially not particularly that one, because that one was like more around sort of the community voter registration. But if there's one, like, for example, like the interview type, so you have a panel of speakers that are participating, so it's subject matter experts. If they are really giving you really good information, who cares how long it is? Who cares? I mean, if it's really good information and you solve my problem, at the end of the day, you're trying to solve somebody's problem, provide a service that solves a problem. If you solve it and you did it in 10, now, if you do it in 10 minutes and it took you 5 minutes, now that's a different story. But if you do it in 10 minutes and it was thought-provoking 10 minutes all the way through, that's fine.
Great. Another question came in from, it's either Alice or Al's. What do you recommend for a mic if multiple people are talking? It was great that you were able to cover some equipment things. People had asked about that. So
you could do a couple of things. You can mic everybody. But that could get expensive, especially if, like you have a panel of 5 people. I mean, obviously, if it's a conference event, that's different. I mean, you're going to have all the equipment. But if you're just kind of doing this on your own, one of the things I've done is that mic, the one that I had in the photo, that cheap mic, which is like $12, but it works really well and it has really good range. And what I've done is, instead of miking a person, I literally just put the mic. So I'll have a stand, the tripod, and I'll put my phone on the tripod. I'll put the mic on the top of the phone. And because of the range, it picks up the volume really, really, really well. And it works well. So I don't have to worry about micing everybody. Or sometimes what I'll do is I'll mic the person in the middle. And then again, it'll pick up the range from the rest of the audience.
Any online resources you would point people to about equipment? We did have a couple of questions about that.
I put together a document that has all the video equipment that you'll ever need. So if you connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a personal invitation that you met me here on the webinar, and I will be happy to share with you my video equipment list.
And your offer on the slides is the same?
Same thing.
All right, perfect.
Yep. And as I mentioned on Twitter, I'm sharing all type of resources today. So if you are on Twitter, go ahead and check that out as well.
Interesting question from Carl. And Carl, if you don't mind, I'm going to sort of alter your question here a little bit, as I often do. Does all the advice that you shared today, does any of it change when you're talking specifically B2B, business to business marketing? Is it the same principles?
It's still the same principle. It's the same principle. And again, I mean, it's the same thing, because if you're not engaging, who cares if it's business to business or business B2C? You have to, at the end of the day, you have to provide content, you have to solve a problem, and you have to be engaging.
I love that you have packed in so many examples here, Angela. Thank you for that. One of the questions that came in from the audience is if you could share what in your mind has been the most successful video campaign that you've come across. I'm guessing that you probably would have used that today, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Any of them stand out?
So that Dollar Shave video at I can't remember. It's gotten. Let me check my notes, see if I wrote, because that's one of the reasons I put it up there, because it is one of the highest viewed videos online. No, I don't have the actual number, but that one is definitely, and you think that one was just I want to say, was it 54 seconds? It was like a minute. Yeah, and I think it hits all the points, right? It kind of like talks about the brand, like why you want to use Dollar Shave, it kind of hits it all, and it's engaging, it's entertaining. So that's one of the reasons I share that one. Is because
I'm no expert, but that Squatty Potty video, do you remember that one? The unicorns. That's one to Google. Maybe when you're not eating. Yeah. Squatty Potty. Yeah. I think we're running right up against the hour. But there's also sort of another question here that I think might be a great place to end. In all of the work that you do, Angela, in the successful campaigns you've seen, can you identify maybe like the number one or number two places where they can go wrong? Like the most commonly made mistakes that you see?
So you know what I didn't talk to at the end of the video? I'm glad you asked that. At the end of the video, you always want to have a call to action, right? So you kind of like talked about your brand or your product, your service, whatever it is. At the end of the day, like, what is it that you want the viewer to do? And so recently I had someone say, oh, check my video out. And at the end, he didn't say, if you need my service, I mean, simply say, like, what's on this slide here in front of you? If you need my services, contact me at www, call me, email me, whatever. Like, you have to have a call to action. So don't leave the viewer hanging. If they actually hung on through the entire video, make sure you have that call to action at the end. Great question, Jeff.
Awesome. It wasn't my question. I won't take credit for that.
Okay.
Angela, this was fantastic. You crammed in so much. I know we're running just over the hour here, but just because there was so much to your presentation. So thank you for sharing all this. And you certainly, I'm no expert, but you shared a lot of things that I did not know and hadn't thought about, particularly about live streaming. So again, on behalf of the Alumni Office, I just really want to thank you for all that you've shared with the alumni community. We really appreciate your time and your expertise.
Yeah, and I hope I changed some minds about live streams. I know when we had the poll, nobody checked that. So
That's a good point.
I hope now some of you guys are thinking about using live streaming. And thank you, everybody. I'm glad you had me, hung out with me for this past hour. Thank you so much. And thank you again, Jeff, for including me today.
Believe me, it's my pleasure. I also want to thank our audience for participating today. I want to thank those of you who've donated to BU in the past. We really depend on your support. We've got another great webinar coming up next week. I've got a wonderful alum who's going to be doing a session called Staying Focused, How to Plan, Prioritize, and Boost Your Productivity, which I know for me in August, definitely need some productivity as we enjoy the dog days of summer here. I encourage all of you to visit our website at bu.edu/alumni to sign up for any kind of alumni events, certainly our webinars. That's also where you can access the library of previously recorded on-demand webinars if you want to check those out. And as always, if you or any BU alum you know would be interested in offering a webinar or another presentation like this, I invite you to connect with me at the Alumni Relations Office or email me at jtmurphy@bu.edu. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Hope you have a great day or a great evening wherever you might be. Thanks again, Angela.
Bye.